Hey everybody, it's Missy again. This time I have a layout for the Simple Stories creative team, and this is my first layout for November. Now I used the Gather Together Simple set, and if you're not familiar what the Simple sets are with Simple Stories, they're just mini collections. You get one sticker sheet, and then you get 3 pattern papers, and they're double-sided, and so you're going to get essentially 6 pattern papers, and in the collection set there are 2 of each. So you get 6 papers and then you get some stickers. So it's very small, and this collection is centered around Thanksgiving dinner. There's turkey, there's the cornucopia, there's lots of food references, eating, but there's also references to being thankful and things like that, family memories. And I'm gonna go with that because I don't really take pictures of Thanksgiving dinner. But this is a picture of my 2 grandmothers and my daughter, and they were all at my house a few months ago for a birthday party, and my paternal grandmother was standing over the couch holding my maternal grandmother's hand, and they were chit-chatting, and it was so cute. So I had to get a picture of that. And so this layout is going to be centered around being thankful and just celebrating my 2 grandmas being together. So I found a cut file from the Just Knix store, and I think it is so beautiful. And I play around with it here for a little bit to decide which direction I want it to go, because as you can see, it can go in any direction really and look really good. But as far as where my photo was going to go, I took some time to kind of play around with where I wanted to situate that, because that's going to be my main background design. I do cut this leaf off because the way I had it situated, it was basically covered up with the picture, and I wanted it to show over there on the right. So I just detached it, and I'm going to place it to where you can see it. So I'm going to use this green pattern paper to back the small leaves on the cut file, and this is something I do all the time. I know a lot of scrapbookers and YouTubers do this technique. It's super easy. I don't mind that it's time consuming. This one actually didn't take that long because there's not a ton of open spaces, but I just like to cut out the shapes and glue them down. It does take a little bit of time, but I don't mind it. I think it's fun, and the end result is always worth it to me. And so you see on this pattern paper, you get the dark brown color with the fall colored hearts. They're almost kind of chalky and kind of messy drawn, and then you get the green on the back. Okay, so I've got the small leaves done, and now I'm going to search around through all the papers that I have and try to find areas that I like to back the big leaves with. And I'm definitely not going to use a cornucopia on any layout I ever make. I'm pretty much sure of that. So I'm going to take advantage of the colors in this little area right here and use that to back a leaf, and I love how it turns out. I love that orange color. I think it's really pretty. And the one thing I do love about this collection is it has those classic fall colors. You've got the orange, the brown, the green, that deep crimson red, and to me those just scream fall. And so even though those are not my top favorite colors, you guys know I usually go for pinks, teals, and yellows. This is kind of like the opposite extreme of my favorite colors, but something about them being together, it's really, really pretty, and I like the homey and comfortable feel of these colors together, and I think this comes together really nicely. And I think using the craft cardstock as a background really helps tie everything together. And so I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing this. I'm not going to make you watch me back all of those leaves. You get the idea. But I use some of that plaid paper, and then I'm going to use some of the brown with the hearts, and then I also use a piece that has some of that sandy cream color on it. Okay, so now I need my mixed media to appear. So I'm going to use some white gesso. This is no mystery. I do this all the time. And I love to use my hand, especially with gesso and something like this. I want it to kind of be faded on the edges and not be harsh and crisp. I want it to look kind of cloudy. And to me, using your finger is the best way to do that. So I picked out some of my favorite shimmers. You know, I use shimmers a lot, and I've picked out 3 or 4, maybe 5 different colors, and they all coordinate with the colors in my cut file there. And I'm going to do what I always do, the packaging technique. This is a Vibes, and it's called Hot Fudge, and it is a beautiful shimmery brown color. It's got gold powder in it, and so here, when I show you up close in a little bit, you'll be able to see the gold shimmer. It's very pretty. And this looks messy, but you know, the cut file is going to go on top of it, and the picture, and some embellishments, and so a lot of this is going to be covered up with everything, and you're going to see this kind of peeking out from behind everything. And that's a really soft brown. I think it's very, very pretty. And if you wanted it darker, you could spray a lot more of it, but I wanted this to kind of be light and soft in the background. And I keep bringing the cut file back so I can see what I can see, and so if I need to add more color further out, I can. This is a Vibes in Quit Your Whinin'. It is a gorgeous reddish color. It also has a lot of gold powder in it, so it's super shimmery, and it's just pretty because you get that reddish pink, dark maroon, that's not maroon, crimson, I guess you could say, color, but it's got this gold shimmer on top of it. It's so pretty. I believe that's a Vibes. I know it's called Quit Your Whinin' because it looks like wine. See, I love how that looks. It looks so much different when you're just splattering all the mist on there, but then when you bring everything and put it back on top, it looks so much better. Now this is a green color. Can't remember the name of it, but it's too light for this, and so I grab a colorings called Keep Palm, and it's the perfect match. And some of these shimmers I've had for a while, so they're in the older style bottles. But that green color matches perfectly, and I'm trying not to overlap the green on top of the red, on top of the brown, because I don't want to make mud. And if you keep them separated like this, you're not going to have that problem. And I'm dabbing up in between each color, and so it's not like I'm puddling everything up together. And I love how that's coming together. I love how using the gesso and the sprays just sort of makes a boring plain background come to life. Sometimes a boring plain background is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I love plain backgrounds as well, but when I'm trying to create this mixed media effect, I just think it totally transforms a blank sheet of paper. So this is Glorious Day. It's a Vibes, and it's sort of deceiving because in the bottle it just looks like a mustard color spray, but when it dries it is sparkly shimmery gold. So don't let that one fool you. It is gorgeous. See the shimmer? You can see the shimmer in the different colors. It's really, you need to see it in person. It's so hard to see it on camera. It really is shimmery. Okay, so I know that's where that's going to stay. I'm pretty much done with the packaging technique and everything on the background, so I'm going to go ahead and glue down the leaves. And I am going to come in a second and do some stitching. But I'm going to come in with some tissue paper first and get that down as just a fun subtle layer behind my picture. So now comes the hard part. I struggled with what to embellish with because, like I said, a lot of this is about food, and my layout's not about food. So in the meantime, I just cut out cards because of their color, and I want to layer those behind my picture. So I'm going to pull in some more of that orange and a little bit of the brown. And I struggled at the beginning of which side I wanted to put my picture on, because one grandma is looking to the right and one is looking to the left. Okay, there you can see where I did my stitching, and I used gold, shiny gold thread, and I just stitched down the middle of all of those leaves. And if you notice, those little white dots are part of the cut file, and they're white because I use white cardstock. So I'm going to come back in with a Glorious Day and just dab some of that pretty gold on top of those little circles. And so they're going to be shimmery and shiny instead of just white. And it just adds a little bit of fun detail to the leaves. But as I was saying, you know, I like to put my pictures on the opposite side of which the person is looking, but my grandmas are kind of, one's looking one way and one's looking the other, and so I just sort of decided to go with sort of to the left, but not completely, and I think it turns out okay. So I come in with some of that deep red thread on either side of the picture, and then I'm gonna situate my photo on some foam. And I don't know who first discovered using that in scrapbooking, but thank you, you're a genius, because I love it. I got it in a huge pack of different color sheets of it from Walmart, and it's sticky. It works so great. It's so much better than using a mazillion pop dots on the back of a little photo like that. So I'm sold. Love it. So these are the little stickers I was talking about. The one at the top says Gather Together, and then this one at the bottom, Family Memories. And I almost use this. I don't wind up using it. I thought about using the shiny gold doily as another little layering piece. And of course, I've already glued everything down, so I had to cut it up and try to tuck it in the edges. And in the end, I don't use it. I just think it takes away from everything. It's too shiny. And I feel like I already have enough going on, but I did leave it there for a second just to see if I liked it. And it's very pretty, don't get me wrong, but I think for what I've already got down, I think it just, I don't know, I didn't like it there. So I pulled out some of the bold colored snap alpha stickers from Simple Stories, and I use the 3 colors that I have that match, and my title is going to be Grandma Chit Chat. And I just spell it out over here to the side in the red, the green, and the orange. And these alpha stickers are great for these kinds of titles. They come in so many different colors, very versatile. Love how that looks. So yeah, it got hung on my thread, of course. So I had to fight with it. Yeah, and I just decided not to use it. But no fear. I did not throw it away. I will use it eventually. So this is from a cut apart sheet. I decided to cut up this little part of it to use. It says The Love Between Us. And I'm going to distress the edges. And I'm going to cover up the ampersand with some leaves from the sticker sheet. So I was just trying to get creative and use as much of this collection as I could in a way that I wanted to use it, and not particularly in the way that it was meant to be used, because I don't have any pictures about food or Thanksgiving. Well, I do have pictures of food, but not Thanksgiving dinner food. Everybody's like eating all over the place, and you know, I just never think to take pictures of people eating. Maybe I'll start this year. So these are from the other fall, the full fall collection. Of course, I'm drawing a blank on what the name of it is. I haven't actually used it yet, but these are the phrase stickers, and I just picked a few that I thought went with what my grandmas were doing and describes what's happening. Hello Fall. I think it's Hello Fall. I should know this. Of course, whenever I'm making a video, I totally lose my train of thought and can't remember the names of anything. But anyway, that's where those little phrase stickers are from. So I added a little bit more thread, and I added my journaling, and I believe that's going to wrap it up. Yes, I did add the date stamp and a couple more splatters, but that's the final layout. I love how this turned out. It was a challenge to use things that I normally would not immediately go for, but I love how it turned out. I love the fall feel of it, even though it's not technically a fall photo. Just makes you feel homey and comfortable and all those awesome feelings that you feel during the fall. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.